this point in my life, I'm just trying to survive. Homicide, stay on my mind. Christopher Wallace on my dime. R.I.P. to the legend. Tupac Shakur with a... Hey babes, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Leia and I'm making a new YouTube video today. I know you guys haven't seen me in a while. My life has been a little roller coaster, but I'm back on YouTube. What is up? Alrighty babes, for the subscribers that I have so far on my YouTube channel, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. Alrighty babes, so my video that I'm making today is going to be a little bit different from what I usually talk about and show on my YouTube channel. But today I'm going to be talking about homelessness and express to you guys how much that topic is really important to me. So for a lot of you that have been watching my YouTube videos, you guys have seen that I was in a car accident in 2021, I believe. Yeah, 2021. And I broke my legs. Well, long story short, after I broke my legs, my whole life completely changed and I ended up living on the streets for, I would say, around 6-7 months. I was homeless, and that experience really changed my life. But I'm gonna get into depth with you on homelessness so you guys can see exactly what I mean in my experience going through it. Alrighty baby, so when I first ended up homeless, I was living at a family member's house and basically they told me I had to leave. It was after my car accident. I literally had nowhere to go. I didn't have a job, so I was like, you know what am I gonna do? Well, I had a friend of mine, a really close friend of mine, who was living in Mexico, and he told me, hey, come to Mexico, I'll take care of you. The first day that I ended up getting kicked out, and I took him up on the offer, even though I wanted to try and figure it out on my own. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go to Mexico. So I was staying with him in Mexico off and on throughout my homelessness. So I had a place to go sometimes, but sometimes when I was here in California, I didn't have anywhere to go. Literally, I'll post some videos and pictures of me on my YouTube channel so you could see. I would stay at the park, I would stay behind churches, I would stay in the gutters by Escondido Transit Center. Sometimes, honestly, I would go with people and we would break into places because we had nowhere else to go. And sometimes people would reach out and try to help me because they would see me on the streets and I'm a girl, so they'd be like, oh, we'll help you, like we'll help like take care of you, stuff like that. So sometimes I had extended hand offerings from people, which sometimes I took and sometimes I didn't, and I'll explain. Okay babe, so if you've watched my YouTube channels or looked at my Instagram, you would see that I did have a job at the strip club. So I was making money, even though it was just tips or from dances. I was making money. I just didn't have anywhere to go when I would leave the club. So sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, I would literally take my whole tent with me to the strip club. And I'm gonna insert a picture of the 2 tents that I had bought. Well, I bought one at Big Five, I believe, but it was a 4-person tent. So when I got it, I saw how big it was, and I was like, no, that's too big for just me. I took it back, and then I got a smaller tent offline, and it's ones that fit in like a little bag, so you could carry it like a backpack. So that's what I'm gonna insert a clip of. I would take that one with me to the club. So sometimes, like I said, I would take my tent with me. There was times where I really didn't want to take my tent because I would have my backpack like with all my stuff. I would have to carry the tent, blanket, So sometimes I just would leave the tent because I would see my kids on the weekends. My parents would let me go on the weekends to see my kids, but then during the week I would have to go back to the street. So I would sometimes just leave my tent there and just sleep outside like nothing. So for example, when I said how sometimes people would offer me stuff but I wouldn't take it, there was a time, right? It was a really rainy night and I was only wearing shorts and a long sleeve jacket, right? Well, it was raining and I was under a little thing basically, so I wasn't wet, but it was really cold. And I remember these people approached me and they had like a blanket and they offered it to me, and I was like, yeah, thank you. I took it. Fell asleep. I stayed out there, right? I slept on the streets at that time in my life. And then in the morning they brought me food, and like I said, because I was working as a stripper, I was making money, but not money like that. So when they were trying to offer me the food, I was like, no, give it to somebody else who like really needs it. Obviously in their eyes it looks like I really needed it, but I didn't need it that bad. I knew I had money from the club that I could use to buy myself something to eat. So I took the food from them anyways, and I walked away. I offered the food to somebody else that was in a tent. I knocked on their tent, and I gave them the food that was given to me. But I knew I was on my way to the strip club. Those people that had given me the food in the first place, they didn't know, or I don't think they knew that I was working at a strip club. So I don't think they knew that I had money, like, to be able to make, as to some people on the street don't have ways to make money. They don't have a job, stuff like that. That's why one major thing about me after that experience is I don't judge people that live on the streets. Main reason is because I lived on the streets, but also you don't know why they're living on the streets. People probably looked at me and thought, why is this girl on the street? Sometimes I would hear people tell me that they felt bad for me, but I knew that there was people on the street that didn't have family, didn't even have ID, didn't have a way to work, and that's why I don't judge people that live like that, because I live that way. I would connect with some people that lived on the street, and to some people they didn't understand why I would talk to people like that, but it's because I lived that way. I don't really have a lot of videos or pictures of me in those moments, but I have some, which I'll make a little slideshow video if you can see. I'm right with you, I feel like Scarface. The way bitch with the bob, I'll be your main one. How I looked in the streets, pictures of me in my tent. Like sometimes I would just be at a park. There was this one park I really stayed at because it was by the transit center. I don't know if you know what a transit center is. Here in Escondido, there's a transit center that it's like all the buses go there. So I would stay at a park close by there. I would just pop my tent up right there and go inside there, drink. Sometimes I would put some clips. But anyways, so I don't judge people on stuff like that, because sometimes you don't know what they're going through. Sometimes people just, like I said, they can't. It's not that they can't, but they don't have a lot of the resources that other people do have. Like me, I did have my dance permit. I did have my ID. I had little things that I could use to get me into like certain jobs, stuff like that. Some people don't have that. Some people don't have family. So my main point of this video is to not judge people that live on the street, or don't have nowhere to go, or don't have family that are there for them. Because even though I have a lot of brothers and sisters, I didn't have not one brother or sister try to get me off the street. Even though I wasn't doing drugs, I wasn't being an alcoholic or anything like that, I didn't have anybody that was trying to get me out of that situation. So that's one main reason why I don't really talk to people in my family, because I feel like the people that offered me help was people that were not even a part of my family, which is crazy to think, but it's true. Alrighty, babe, so usually I don't show my kids on my channel like that, but this is my youngest daughter, Mariah. She wanted to say hi to my subscribers, so go ahead.
Hi.
Say hi, YouTube.
Hi, YouTube.
How old are you?
6.
She's my 6-year-old. Tell them to subscribe to my channel.
Subscribe to my mommy's channel.
Alrighty, babe. So how I got out of living in the streets was, so I was working at the strip club, right? As I was working at the strip club, I was putting in job applications at other jobs, because at one point or another, it's gonna happen to all you strippers out there. There's gonna be a point where you're gonna not want to leave the strip club like that per se. Obviously, we love pole dancing. Pole dancing is our thing. We're always gonna be pole dancers at heart, always. But I know there's gonna be a point in time where you want to figure out what you're gonna do after you leave the strip club. So I feel like I just took it as the opportunity where I kept going to the club, right? I didn't leave the strip club until actually not even when I got the next job. I still bounced back between club and job. But so it was crazy, because I was praying to God, like, God, I know I have potential, but I just need somebody to believe in me. I remember I prayed and I prayed, and this job actually reached out to me. And I was like, really? Like, this place wants to hire me? Like, why do they want to hire me, you know? And it was for a medical technician job. And I was like, I know I have certification, I know I can do it, but I was just so used to being in the street, being in the club as a stripper. I wasn't used to making money that way because I had been dancing for so long. So I always take it as a gift from God because after that happened, I took the job offer. I went and I started working as a medical technician. I don't know how or what made my family change, but I feel like once they realized that I wasn't working at the strip club, they decided to let me move back in. But I still worked at the strip club. I still went. I just didn't do it so often because I honestly wanted to get out of the club at that point in time. I just didn't know how. I didn't know how I was going to get the next job. But I got it. They reached out to me. I didn't even apply for that job, believe it or not. I didn't even apply. They literally messaged me and they said, "We want to give you this opportunity." And I took it. But yeah, babes, I know this video is completely different from everything I have posted, but that's another reason why I haven't been on YouTube for a while. If you notice, my videos have been a little bit different from when I first started making YouTube videos 2 years ago to my YouTube videos now. But it's because after my car accident, my life completely changed. Literally, I broke my legs, got surgery, and right after I healed, I was kicked to the street. I don't know why. It just happened, you know? And I'm kind of glad it happened because one main thing, it also made me look at everybody totally different. Like, I don't look at people how I used to. I used to look at people, for example, I used to look at people in a totally different light, a totally different way. And when I saw how people would treat me, especially my family, after that happened to me, I just changed towards them, you know? I know they feel it too, but I honestly don't regret it. I'm like, if anything, it just showed me everybody's true colors. I really don't understand it sometimes. Sometimes I still ask God, like, why did that happen? You know, why did I have to be kicked out in the street like that? I don't know. I'll probably never understand why, but what I do know is I'm thankful that I don't have the same connections with people that I used to back then. It showed me that I don't need them. And if I did need them, I feel like they would still be in my life, but they weren't. So, babes, the main point of this video that I want to put out there is to not judge people. If you haven't lived a day in their shoes, yes, everybody's entitled to their opinion, but what people go through is what people go through. Sometimes people don't have the same maybe support system that you have. Some people probably don't have the same family that you have. Even though they look like their life is perfect or what they show you online could not even be that way at all. Another thing, please don't ever think that nothing like that could happen to you because I never thought, well, I never even thought about it ever happening to me. So I never thought it couldn't. Maybe back then I did think that. Maybe I thought, oh, I'll always have the life that I have right now. But no, your life could change just like that. So if you're the type of person that judges other people, judges a book by their cover, or looks at them like any certain way, don't forget it could happen to you even though you don't think that it ever could. So another point that I'm trying to make in this video is just have human decency, have respect. If you don't like homeless people for whatever in your mind, that's on you. But those people deserve to be treated just like anybody else. There was times where I slept places where I had to be waking up by people and they'd say we couldn't be there, they were gonna call the police multiple times. And I never was mad at the person or the cop that would tell us that because we weren't allowed to be on that property. Even though I lived on the street for that moment in time, one thing I can tell you is that it changed my mentality so much. Yes, it did make me not like a lot of people because I was like so protective of myself. I feel like I was in my masculine energy, you know, like I felt like I had to be tougher because I was on the street, you know. So I would distance myself from a lot of people. But another thing is it made me strong mentally to where I want to do certain things differently because of that. Like I'm gonna go back to school. I want to, how do I say this? I want to move up more in life, especially for my kids. But for the people out there that are going through this, because there's probably people that go through this out there that nobody knows about. If that's you watching this or anybody else out there, I just, sorry, the crow's crowing right now. But if that's you or anybody out there watching this video or knows anybody going through this, I pray to God that you get through it. I pray to God that you get out of that situation. And if you don't, I pray to God that you meet people that will want to be there for you, you know? Like that person I told you about that gave me a place to stay in Mexico. When the roles were reversed and that person needed help from me, I had no problem extending my hand because they had helped me. But I was like, that's common decency. If somebody helps you and they be there for you in your moment of struggle, and they're not even a part of your family, mind you, they don't have to be there for you. What you do is you be there for them as well. Alrighty, babe. So the sun is going down. I'm losing my light out here, but I want to go ahead and tell you guys thank you so much for watching my YouTube video. Don't forget to like, comment, and
Subscribe.
alrighty, babes, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.
Damn, little nigga, you trippin'. We supposed to been superstars. That money be the root of all. Now it ain't safe for you. You switch like the rest of them do.